So guys, welcome to our channel once again. In today's video, we are going to answer these 20 questions on internal structure of a flowering plant. So here in this lesson, we are going to consider the leaf. So guys, ensure to stay till the end of this video. Also, at any point where you feel you want to answer the question before we provide the answer thereafter, you can always pause this video and try out that. So let's look at the first question here. It says, the fleshy base of a flower to which the different floral parts are attached is known as A, sepals, B, receptacle, C, hypothalamus, D, calyx. So guys, the answer to this question is option B, and that's the receptacle. The fleshy base of a flower to which the different floral parts are attached is known as the receptacle. And this is the part of the flower structure that connects the flower to the stem, and it holds the flower's major parts. So let's look at the next question, guys. Question number 2. It says, we have a diagram here, and we have to use the diagram to answer the question. So guys, the question says, the structure that controls loss of water vapor during transpiration is labeled A, IV, B, II, C, III, D, I. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's IV. So we can see that over here, transpiration takes place when the stomata opens. So here is the stomata, guys. And when the stomata opens, due to turgidity, this leads to transpiration. So we can see here, the stomata here is open. And that's IV, guys. Let's look at the next question. That's question number 3. The question says, the essential part of a flower that is meant for pollination and fruit formation is A, pistil, and that's the gynoecium, and we have B, corolla, C, receptacles, and D, ovary. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's the pistil or the gynoecium. So guys, the gynoecium is the essential part of a flower that is meant for pollination and fruit formation. It is the female reproductive part of the flower, and it consists of the ovary, the style, and the stigma. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 4. It says, the veins of the leaf are formed by the A, spongy mesophyll, B, palisade tissue, C, cambium cells, D, vascular bundles. So guys, the answer to this question is option D, and that's the vascular bundles. The veins of the leaf are formed by the vascular bundles. So vascular bundles are part of the transport system in plants. They are actually strands of tissues that run the length of the plant from the roots through the stem and out into the leaf. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 5. The question says, an example of caryopsis is A, coconut, B, tomato, C, maize, and D, guava. So guys, we've answered a question that makes a relation to this, and over there I mentioned that the maize grain is a caryopsis. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, that's the maize grain. So caryopsis is a type of simple dry fruit. It actually resembles an achene, except that in a caryopsis, the pericarp is fused with the thin seed coats. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's the maize grain. So let's look at the next question. That's question number 6. It says, an example of a plant that develops from a single carpel is A, bean, B, okra, C, tomato, D, orange. So guys, the answer to this question is option B, and that's the okra. Okra is an example of a fruit that develops from a single carpel. So let's look at the next question. Question number 7. Guys, the question says, Which of the following characteristics distinguishes monocotyledonous plants from dicotyledonous plants? A. Number of cotyledons in the seed. B. Type of root system. C. Method of reproduction. D. Presence of vascular bundles. So guys, the number one feature that distinguishes monocotyledonous plants from dicotyledonous plants is the number of cotyledons in the seed. And cotyledon is the seed leaf. So the seed leaf is, okay, I'll have to explain it this way, guys. When you plant a crop, usually at the early stage, you often see somewhat like a flower that sprouts out in the early stage. If, for instance, you plant a bean seed, you'll notice that the first flower that comes out has 2 leaves coming out. And if, for instance, you plant a maize plant, you will notice that the first flower that comes out at the early stage usually has 1 flower, 1 long flower, just like that. So that, guys, that's the seed leaf. So the number of cotyledons in the seed is the characteristic that distinguishes monocotyledons from dicotyledons. So let's take note of that, and let's go ahead and check out the next question, guys. That's question number 8. It says, the term caryopsis is used to describe a fruit in which the A. Seed and endocarp are fused. B. Seed coat and fruit wall are impermeable. C. Testa and pericarp are fused. D. Testa and pericarp are separate. So guys, I believe you already know the answer to this question by now, since we've answered a couple of questions relating to this. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's seed and endocarp are fused. So let's look at the next question. Question number 9, it says, use the diagram below to answer the question. So here is the diagram. The question says, the type of placentation shown is A. Marginal placentation. B. Parietal placentation. C. Central placentation. D. Axial placentation. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's marginal placentation. Marginal placentation is actually a placentation in which the placenta forms a ridge at the margin along the central suture of the ovary. So guys, looking at this placentation, it is a marginal placentation. So let's look at the next question, guys. Question number 10, it says, which of the following features are associated with monocots? A. Fibrous root system, 2 seed leaves, and floral pads in trees. B. Fibrous root system, branched network of vein, and 1 seed leaf. C. 1 seed leaf, petals in trees, or groups of trees, and parallel venation of leaves. D. 1 seed leaf, net veined leaves, and petals in 3s or multiples of 3. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's 1 seed leaf, petals in 3s or group of trees, and parallel venation of leaves. So guys, that's the answer to this question, and this is the group of features that is associated with the monocots. So let's look at the next question, guys. Question number 11, it says, dash are tiny pores in the lower epidermis of leaves. So guys, I believe you should have guessed rightly the answer to this question. The options given to us here, we have A. lenticel, B. stomata, C. veins, and D. margin. So guys, the answer to this question is the stomata. The stomata is the tiny pores in the lower epidermis of leaves. So guys, the next question here is question number 12. It says, which of the following is not true of wind pollinated flowers? A. Scented petals. B. Light smooth pollen. C. Large pendulous anthers. D. Small inconspicuous flowers? So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's centered petals. Wind pollinated flowers, also known as anemophilous flowers, typically have small inconspicuous flowers with no scent or nectar. So they have large pendulous anthers and light smooth pollen to facilitate wind dispersal. But guys, the option scented petal is not true of wind pollinated flowers, because scent and nectar are traits that attract animal pollinators and not wind. So guys, let's look at the next question. That's question number 13. Here we have a diagram to answer the question. And the question here says the part labeled I is the A, upper epidermis, B, spongy mesophyll, C, cortical, and D, vein. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's cortical. Let's look at the next question. That's question number 14. It says, which of the following constitutes the main internal tissue of a leaf? A, cortical, B, vascular tissue, C, mesophyll, D, lower epidermis. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's the mesophyll. So let's look at the next question. Question number 15, it says, the outermost embryonic membrane in the animal is the A, allantois, B, amnion, C, chorion, and D, yolk sac. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's the chorion. The chorion is the outermost membrane around the embryo in mammals, birds, and reptiles. So it develops from an outer fold of the surface of the yolk sac, which lies outside the vitelline envelope and is developed by the follicle cells, while the egg is in the ovary. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 16. Here we have a diagram as well. And the question here says, an example of a plant having the placentation shown above is A, water lily, B, alamander, C, hibiscus, D, pride of Barbados. So guys, the answer to this question here is pride of Barbados. So the pride of Barbados is an example of a plant having this placentation shown above. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 17. It says, the structure labeled X is for A, attachment, B, feeding, C, breathing, D, seeing. So guys, already we know that the answer to this question is option A, and that's attachments. We've seen this question in our previous videos. And guys, anywhere you see this question, just understand that this structure is for attachments. So we already know that the presence of hooks and suckers, guys, help this tapeworm to attach in the intestine. So the answer to this question, guys, is option A, that's attachment. So guys, let's look at the next question, and that's question number 18. So the question says, Monocotyledon has one of the following characteristics. A, flowers are bright in color. B, flowers are generally dull in color. C, leaves have network veins. And D, it has taproot system. So guys, the answer to this question is option B, and that's flowers are generally dull in color. So next is question number 19. We have a diagram here as well. And the question says the part labeled II is the A, endocarp, B, mesocarp, C, pericarp, D, epicarp. So guys, the answer to this question is option B, and that's the mesocarp. So the mesocarp in a typical fruit is the middle layer, and it's found between the endocarp and the epicarp. So guys, looking at this layer, we'll realize that this is the middle layer here in these fruits. So as such, that's the mesocarp. So let's consider the next question, guys, and that's the last question, question number 20. It says, most monocots are easily recognized by their A, long and palm-like leaves, B, short leaves with petioles, C, long and sword-like leaves, D, short leaves with many veinlets. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's long and sword-like leaves. So most monocots have a long and sword-like leaves, and that's how most of them are recognized. So guys, here's the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're not yet a subscriber. Also, if you have any question regarding this video, please drop your question on the comment section below and we'll ensure to give you a response. Don't forget to share this video with your friends to enable us reach out to more people. And thank you for watching this video. See you next time.